Hey guys, it's MMA Vulture coming at you live with this week's best UFC bets for UFC Vegas 102, Cannonier versus Rodrigues. And I'm excited for this card. This card has got a lot of good fights on it. And let's go ahead and jump right into it with my lock of the week being Edmund Shabazian and over 1.5 in the Gregory Rodrigues and Jared Cannonier fight. I love these two. I think that these are great picks. I think that they are ultimately locks, and I'm going to tell you why. Edmund Shabazian is going up against Dylan Budka. Dylan Budka is one of the worst fighters in the UFC. He should not be a UFC fighter. One, Dylan Budka can't make weight. Two, his cardio is awful. As this fight goes on, Edmund Shabazian is going to look a lot better and start absolutely dominating him, to be completely honest. Dylan Budka is not going to be able to keep up with the pace and the cardio of Edmund Shabazian. The other thing is that Dylan Budka has not once progressively gotten better. He has not looked better once in any of his fights. You have the loss to Cesar Almeida, the loss to Andre Petroski, and he just didn't look good in either one of them, to be completely honest. He's a very mediocre fighter that just doesn't have the skill set that the other fighters have. And then you have Edmund Shabazian on the other side, who has only lost to the best of the best, to be completely honest. If you look at who he has lost to, he has lost to Gerald Meerschaert, where arguably he could have won that if he just stayed on his feet and just struck with Gerald Meerschaert. He was getting the better of him on the feet. His hands were looking solid. They were looking crisp and clean. But ultimately, he made a mistake, a low IQ move, and got submitted by Gerald Meerschaert. What can you do? But again, he has only lost to the worst. I mean, Gerald Meerschaert has way better striking than Dylan Budka. Not only that, you have the loss to Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, who is a top-ranked fighter, who is on the come-up. And then you have the loss to Nasruddin Imavov, who just recently beat Israel Adesanya, one of the best middleweights ever. And then you have the loss to Jack Hermanson, Derek Brunson. These are all top-ranked contenders. And I believe every single one of these guys can absolutely starch Dylan Budka. So what do I think Edmund Shabazian's going to do? He's going to starch Dylan Budka. Edmund Shabazian is a lot better than Dylan Budka. I'm going to tell you that right now. His striking is a lot better. He's cleaner. He's crisper with the hands. He's got the devastating knockout power. He knows how to mix up his shots really well. He knows how to mix in his grappling with his striking, which is something to note. He has good grappling and good striking. So I got to go with Edmund Shabazian. On Dylan Budka's side, he has awful striking. He's got lugging knockout power. But again, you're going to see those from a mile away. And his grappling, he has good grappling, but his jiu-jitsu sucks, to be completely honest. His grappling isn't the best. He sucks at getting people down to the ground. So, I mean, Dylan Budka is really a mediocre fighter, and I see Edmund Shabazian being able to walk over him, to be completely honest. And then we got the over 1.5 in the Gregory Rodrigues and Jared Cannonier fight, and I believe that's a lock too. I think this fight is going to be ending in the third, fourth round. I see Gregory Rodrigues getting the technical knockout over Jared Cannonier. The reason why I think it's going to be in the later rounds in the third to fourth, because I see Gregory Rodrigues eating away at the clock and the gas tank of Jared Cannonier, taking him down, garnering that control time, making him very uncomfortable, and eating away at the clock, like I said. Which is why I think over 1.5 is the call. I think that Gregory Rodrigues and Jared Cannonier are going to be striking, but I think that Gregory is going to want to kind of use that grappling. So mix in the grappling with the striking, take him down, garner that control time, eat away at the clock, and give us that over 1.5. I see that fight ending in the third or fourth round. And then that parlay to get parlayed together is a -123. That is the lock of the week. I believe that these two are the best picks for this week, and that is why I ultimately put them as the lock of the week for a -123 parlay. And let's move along to my most confident picks of this week, being Youssef Zalal to start it off against Calvin Kattar. And I love this matchup between these two. You have Youssef Zalal, who is on the come up. He has been looking absolutely phenomenal. I mean, he has been submitting everybody left and right. in Billy Q, Jarno Evans, and Jack Shore. I mean, Yusuf Zalal is one of those special circumstances. I mean, he was in the UFC prior, and now he came back and is on an absolute tear, submitting the three, like I said, Jack Shore, Jarno Evans, Billy Q, and now he's got to fight up against Calvin Kattar, and it's going to be an absolute banger, to be completely honest. I see Yusuf Zalal having the grappling advantage. Calvin Kattar just absolutely got destroyed on the ground versus Aljamain Sterling. And previously, before that, he had a loss to Arnold Allen where he had a knee injury. So he's getting older, he's facing a lot of injuries, and he's just not looking as quick and clean on the feet as he used to. So that is why I'm going with Yusuf Zalal. Calvin Kattar is coming to the later end of his career, and the newcomers are just coming in to take over in Yusuf Zalal. Yusuf Zalal is a tremendous striker with knockout power. He mixes in his striking with his grappling really, really well. He has nice high and low kicks. He is very explosive and quick and very good at entering and exiting the pocket. Not only that, he is well-rounded with his grappling skill set too. He's got quick transitions, tricky submissions. He loves to advance positions. He's always working to advance positions on you if he has you on the ground. So that is why I'm going with Yusuf Zalal against Calvin Kattar. I do think that this fight ends via decision. I think that Calvin Kattar is a tough opponent. I don't think that Yusuf Zalal is going to be able to submit him. If Aljamain Sterling had a problem submitting him, I think Yusuf Zalal will have trouble submitting him. So that is why I think Yusuf Zalal via decision is the perfect call at a negative 145. His money line straight down the middle is a negative 500. Hard to get value out of that. You could use him in parlays. I think that he's definitely going to beat Calvin Kattar, who is on the later end of his career and just looking a lot slower and a lot clunkier. So give me Yusuf Zalal. And then with my next confident pick, we have Gregory Rodrigues over Jared Cannonier. And same thing. I think Gregory Rodrigues is on the come up. He has been looking phenomenal, and he is somebody that is always going to fight for your money. If you guys remember the fight against Chitty Bang Bang, where he had a split across his eyebrows, like a huge split. It was disgusting, but he still banged it out with Chitty and found the finish and grounded pounded him after what looked like a absolute brutal knee and then a cut that was just awful, to be completely honest. And he came back and absolutely delivered. That is why I'm going with Gregory. I mean, his striking is no other. He has devastating knockout power. He has really good quick hands and clean combinations. He mixes it up really well to the head and to the body. He also has really good grappling with strong takedowns. He's got a really good takedown defense. He's got tricky submissions, quick transitions. He knows how to garner that control time and maintain control of you when he gets you down on the ground. I like Gregory Rodrigues everywhere this fight goes. I feel like Jared Cannonier just has a puncher's chance, to be completely honest. He has a devastating knockout power, but he really just hasn't been looking the best. He's been looking awkward and clunky. He's coming to the later end of his career. He had the battle against Caio Borralho, yes, and he had moments in it, yes, but ultimately, Caio was just straight up striking with him, and Caio is known as mainly a grappler. So take that with a grain of salt. I gotta go with Gregory. I think that he's somebody who is tough, gritty, and he's there to fight for your money, and he's gonna put it all on the line. And I think that Jared Cannonier is coming to the later end of his career. So give me Gregory Rodrigues over Jared Cannonier. And sitting at a negative 220, I love the value on it. I really do. And then let's move to the next confident pick in Jose Delgado over Connor Matthews. And I'm excited about this one. I really think that Jose Delgado is going to beat Connor Matthews. Jose Delgado has a very good striking skill set. He has brutal knockout power. Not only that, he's got quick hands. He's got clean combinations. He is really good at using his striking to the best of his ability. I mean, he is very elusive. He knows how to move his head. His footwork is phenomenal. He uses his footwork to put himself in the best positions to knock out his opponent, which is why he has multiple knockouts in the UFC. You have the knockout over Ernie Juarez in his Contender Series debut. My apologies. That's the only knockout he has. The technical knockout over Ernie Juarez, where he absolutely destroyed him. And he looked good doing so. The knee to the head, his fight IQ is phenomenal. His footwork is phenomenal. His striking is absolutely phenomenal. His grappling defense is really, really good. He knows how to defend takedowns really well. So I believe he's going to be able to keep this on the feet. I believe he's going to be able to use that striking. And I believe he's going to be able to knock out Conor Matthews. Conor Matthews really isn't the best. I mean, his striking is all right, but he got knocked out by Dennis Buska due to a left hook to hammer fist. So I really think that Jose Delgado has the striking advantage. I think explosive and power advantage have to go to Jose Delgado for sure. We don't know how Conor Matthews is after the technical knockout. We don't know how his chin is. So I got to go with Jose Delgado. I think striking-wise, he's at a clear-cut striking advantage. I think that he's able to enter and exit the pocket and find the knockout shot on Conor Matthews. And sitting at a plus 175, I think it's great value. His money line straight down the middle is negative 425. I think Jose Delgado is a great, confident pick, and he's going to beat Conor Matthews. And let's move to my next confident pick in Walter Walker over Don'Tale Mayes. I like this pick because Don'Tale Mayes is super, super inconsistent. He wins one, he loses one, he wins one, he loses one. He's just a very inconsistent fighter. And not only that, he has suspect grappling. His grappling skills really aren't the best. He has all right takedown defense. He really kind of lacks in the grappling department, but he has good striking. I mean, he's got knockout power. He mixes up his shots really well. Sometimes headhunts and kind of leaves himself open to counters, which is where I think Walter Walker could counter him. But ultimately, Walter Walker does have a suspect striking game. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He does. He puts his head down like DDP and starts swinging and just hopes to hit. But where he shines is the grappling department, which is why I like Walter Walker. I think he's going to be able to take down Don'Tale Mayes. I think he's going to be able to garner that control time. I could see him landing some nice, brutal ground and pound. And not only that, Don'Tale Mayes has gotten worse in the sense of his cardio. So I feel like as this fight goes on, Walter Walker is going to be favored. And we're in the apex, so the cage is a lot smaller, so it's going to favor the grappler. So give me Walter Walker to beat Don'Tale Mayes, and I think he's going to do it via decision, though I could see a nice ground and pound finish for Walter Walker. I'm going to say decision. I think that we really don't know which Don'Tale Mayes we're getting, and Walter Walker is going to deliver either way with a win over Don'Tale Mayes, and his money line sitting right at a negative 230, and I really like it. A negative 235, my apologies. I really like it. I think that Walter Walker beats Don'Tale Mayes. I think Don'Tale Mayes is too inconsistent and kind of just a mediocre fighter, so give me Walter Walker. And let's move along to my underdog pick of this week in Andre Petroski over Rodolfo Vieira. I like Andre Petroski sitting at a plus 225. I think he's being slept on. One thing I will note is that he is taking this on short notice. So that is something huge to note. But I think Andre Petroski has the better striking. I think he's got the speed advantage. I think that he's going to be able to enter and exit the pocket with ease against Rodolfo Vieira. I think that they both have knockout power. I think that they both have good grappling skill set. I think Rodolfo has the better jiu-jitsu and the better submissions, but I think Andre Petroski can do just as good in the grappling side of things. I think he's going to be able to snub takedowns from Rodolfo Vieira. I think he could even reverse them and land some takedowns of his own and garner some control time himself. I think Andre Petroski is the call here. I think striking-wise, he's at a striking advantage. I see him being able to snub the takedowns of Rodolfo and land some of his own, to be completely honest. I think Andre Petroski is really slept on. I really do. I think Rodolfo Vieira is a good grappler, but I think he lacks in the striking department. I think Andre Petroski is a good, well-rounded fighter. I think that he's going to deliver here, even though he's taking this on short notice. Though I do worry, something I will say, I do worry not only about him taking this on short notice, I do worry about Petroski's cardio as this fight goes on. So that is something to note. But I still think in the first 2 rounds, Andre Petroski is somebody to fear. I really think that he can beat Rodolfo Vieira. I do worry as this fight goes on, but I still think that Andre Petroski is live, and I think that he can beat Rodolfo Vieira striking-wise and grappling-wise. I think he's going to look to keep it mainly on the feet and outstrike Rodolfo Vieira and get the better of him. And I love his money line sitting at a plus 225. I think he's live to win this. I think he's mainly live to win this via decision. But ultimately, he could win it via knockout as well. Andre Petroski has some devastating knockout power. Yes, he doesn't show it too much, but he does. And somebody like Rodolfo Vieira, who kind of lacks the head movement, kind of keeps his head on the center line, and just really kind of lacks in the sense of striking, could get caught, and Andre Petroski could win. I really do think that he could win. And that is why that is my underdog pick of this week. My other underdog was going to be Ketlin Souza, but her line ended up flipping. So that is another +1 I'm going to go ahead and just throw in there that I really liked. I think that she could beat Angela Hill. I think that Angela Hill is another one of those Don'Tale Mays where she's very inconsistent. And though she is coming off of a nice win over oh my gosh, Mackenzie Dern, I want to say. No. Coming off of a win over Tabitha Ricci, my apologies. And she looked good in that one. I still think that Ketlin Souza is going to be too much. I think power is going to be the key difference. I think that when Ketlin Souza lands on her, she's going to feel it. Not only that, I think that Ketlin Souza is going to be able to enter and exit the pocket and even land some takedowns. I think that Ketlin Souza has a grappling advantage. I think even striking, she's a lot better. I think Angela Hill is overrated and just mediocre, so I'm going with Ketlin Souza. That is another underdog that turned favorite that I just wanted to throw in there. And let's go ahead and move along to my parlays of this week. And if you guys haven't, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And join the flock if you guys haven't. We got a members-only Discord, members-only shorts, members-only live streams. Make sure you guys go ahead and join up. And then let's throw it to my parlays of this week. As these parlays go on, they get more degen, more risky, so keep that in mind. And let's go ahead and start with the first parlay in Walker moneyline, Zalal moneyline, sitting at a -141. I think it's live to hit. I think Don'Tale Mays is super inconsistent, and Walter Walker should win this with the clear-cut grappling advantage. And then we got Zalal against Calvin Kattar, who's coming to the later end of his career. Zalal making an absolute run, submitting 3 of his last opponents, and looking absolutely unstoppable. And then we got the next parlay in Shabazian moneyline. Rodriguez over 1.5 at a -123. That is the lock of the week that I brought to you guys earlier. And I think it's the absolute lock of the week, to be completely honest. Shabazian should absolutely destroy Dylan Budka. And then Rodriguez and Cannonier should definitely go over 1.5. And then we got the next parlay with Delgado moneyline, Rodriguez moneyline at a -125. I think it's very live to hit. Like I said, I see Delgado having the striking advantage. Not only that, I see him knocking out Connor Matthews. And then on the other side, we got Rodriguez against Cannonier, who is coming to the later end of his career and not looking the best. He's looking more awkward and clunky on the feet. And I think Rodriguez is on the come up and looking absolutely killer. So I got to go with Rodriguez. And then we got the next parlay in the first plus money parlay with Shabazian moneyline, Rodriguez over 1.5, and Zalal moneyline sitting at a +117. I think it's great plus money, and I see all 3 of those hitting. I think they're all live to hit for sure. And then we got the next parlay in the brothers, the Bofim brothers. You got Bofim 1 going up against Chaos Williams. And then you got Bofim 2 going up against Nazim Sadikov.
And I think they're both live to win it. I think the first Bofium brother against Chaos Williams has a clear-cut grappling advantage. And the second Bofium brother has the striking advantage. He's a really good striker that mixes it up really well. And Nazim Sadikov has good grappling, but I think he's going to be able to stop the grappling of Sadikov and be able to outstrike him and land the more devastating shots. So that's why I have the Bofium brothers as a parlay. And then we got the next parlay with Rodriguez moneyline. Zalal by decision at plus 146. I think Rodriguez beats Cannonier and finishes him inside the distance. And then Zalal by decision. I think that Calvin Kattar is somebody who's tough and hard to get out of there. If Aljamain Sterling had problems trying to submit him, I think Zalal's going to have trouble submitting him. And I think Zalal's just going to win it by decision. And then we got the next parlay in Walker moneyline, Souza moneyline, Rodriguez over 1.5 at plus 286. Great plus money. I think Walker beats Don'Tale Mayes, who's inconsistent. Souza beats Angela Hill, who is also inconsistent. And she has the power and striking advantage over her. And then we have Rodriguez over 1.5, which I believe is definitely a lock. I really see that fight going to the 3rd, 4th round, and I see Rodriguez finishing Cannonier in the 4th and 5th round in the later rounds as Cannonier starts to get more tired, starts to get more awkward and clunky on the feet. And then we got the next parlay in Shabazian moneyline, Rodriguez over 1.5, and Petrosky moneyline at plus 488. The underdog parlay. I paired it up with my lock of the week parlay, and it gives you a plus 488. I think it's super live to hit. I think Petrosky can definitely beat Rodolfo Vieira. I think he has a clear-cut striking advantage. I think power-wise he can knock him out, and I think that he's more elusive on the feet than Rodolfo Vieira. So give me Andre Petrosky over him. And then we got some D-Gen parlays with Delgado by knockout and Rodriguez by technical knockout, sitting at a plus 588. That is the D-Gen knockout parlay of the week. And then we got the next parlay in Petrosky moneyline, Delgado by knockout or technical knockout, sitting at a plus 794. That is the D-Gen prop parlay of the week. I think Petrosky is live to beat Rodolfo Vieira. I think Delgado knocks out Connor Matthews with his absolutely devastating striking. And if you guys haven't, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.